no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Senior Citizen Podcast, and today we get to have a chat with Tongue Tied! Yay! The Battle Royale champs in my heart, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sorry, but when I see Fast Walker and anybody else that I know from that night, I will tell them the same thing. I don't know Boaz, so it's not, no lasso foul. That's what I keep hearing, but yeah, whatever. Everybody's a winner. It's a beautiful stage to play on, so I'm happy you guys got that opportunity.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how Tongue Tied got together.
Well, it started with everyone knowing each other in different times. So Danny and Eric went to School of Rock for most of their childhood, and then Eric joined my high school in junior year, and so we formed some high school band, and it was not the greatest because it's a high school band, but then we realized that their band before was needing a new singer, and so I got put in, and then we became Tongue Tied.
And then Marvel like years later, that's another.
I think the timeline is important.
Yes,
Right.
We've had a lot of bass changes for some reason. It's just there's always crazy stuff happening. Doppelgangers.
Yeah,
we have
no
replaced.
offense to bass players, but I just feel like they're unreliable to some degree.
No, yes, very true. Not me, but very true. Not me. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm saying.
Not me though.
He's a great bassist.
Right. I need this entire band to drop their skin routine really quick.
Y'all looking good.
Soap?
Soap. Me too.
Really? Okay, damn.
Mostly just water.
Dang, bro.
Stay hydrated.
I don't know how much you are for product placement, but I use that Old Spice exfoliating coal soap. I don't even think it's used for your face, but it feels pretty good. It smells pretty
It's
good.
giving 3-in-1 vibes.
Confirmed he has that in his bathroom.
You'd be the one to have that.
The green bottle.
I went to an Airbnb 2 weeks ago and they had 3-in-1 in the bathroom. It's I don't get a separate shampoo, conditioner, and body wash.
That was me.
No, you just left
that
it,
was my
right.
B&B. I was right there. I'm sorry. I was there.
That's his house, actually. You were in his house.
I'm glad to hear your house was Stitch themed.
That's fitting. That's definitely fitting.
Honestly, if Stitch played drums, I think he'd go
That'd be.
hard.
Doesn't he in the movie for a little bit?
He plays guitar. He does a.
He does the Elvis thing.
Elvis.
But there's some sort of short that I have seen Stitch play drums in, so representation matters.
An ally.
All right, guys.
If it's there somewhere, then it works.
Yeah.
Then it works.
I'm gonna go one by one. Everybody can give me their background, their musical influences, and I know you went to School of Rock, but how you get started in playing your instrument.
Okay. I started guitar kind of casually when I was 6. I thought it was a fun hobby. And then when I was 12, 13, that's when I started taking it seriously, and I just been taking it seriously since. And now I get to play with these guys. And now we're not so serious anymore.
I have been musically inclined for all my life. It's like the ADHD pipeline, just always singing random notes and saying random phrases. So I kind of sat down and started writing a bunch of stuff, and then I was wait, you could add music. And then I realized that it was really a passion to be able to sing and write and do other stuff with musicians, and the scene has been great. So
Did you have any sort of formal training or anything, or?
yes, I was in choir for most of my life since I was a kid, so I guess that kind of trained me to be a good singer. But it's always good to strive for greatness, even more beyond. So yeah.
Okay, Buzz Lightyear.
I guess kind of similar to Danny, I got into drums a little casually. I tried to be a guitarist at first, but I couldn't understand it, and the finger work was just, I was not having it. So I saw my stepdad playing drums, and I was like, okay, I want to do that. And then like 15 years later, with Danny and like doing shows, practicing, getting better, and so and now we're here.
Now we're here.
But yeah, that's kind of like my drumming background right there. It was just picked it up, kept practicing like Danny, and then yeah.
Perfect. Oh, me. Okay.
How'd you get into the bass?
I started playing in like 8th grade. I literally just saw YouTube videos about playing bass and I really enjoyed it. I asked my parents for one and I just did not put it down. It became one of my obsessions and it's still like probably my biggest obsession today. And then in 9th grade I joined band, learned formal band instruments, got like the theory training and all that, joined jazz band and all that. Still playing outside for fun during all that time. And that's like all the formal stuff. Then yeah, same thing, kind of just continuing to do that. Again, it is like the obsession of my life. It's like one of the only things I really do consistently now. And yeah, that's why I'm here now. Yeah.
How did you join the band?
Oh yeah, so they all went to School of Rock. Well, not all, but them two went to School of Rock together. Now us three work at School of Rock, and I've been working there for like maybe 2 years now. They've been working there a little longer, and I met Eric and Danny there, and it was good timing because at like a year or so later they needed a new bass player, and I was here.
Just fell into your lap.
Exactly. Yeah. And it did just work out. Yeah.
I feel like you guys are a little family. Like, it's so cute. Like, you all just get along.
We do spend a lot of time
Yeah.
together.
You have to be a certain kind of person to do that type of social media that we will get into later. But you guys have the funniest social media out of all the bands.
The lore is infinite.
The promo for Comatose, like, I was living for every meme just covering.
yeah.
Like, is he okay? He's listening to Comatose.
If we weren't a band, we'd be a meme account. That's it.
If you ever retire the band, there is a meme account there, like, just waiting to get started.
I feel like most of our fans, friends, and family follow our account not for our music, not because we're good musicians, just for our memes.
Well, I mean, I do want to say they should be following you for the music. When I listened to Comatose, guys, amazing track. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Beautiful. Tell me a little bit about the songwriting process for the band in general. How does it start? Where does it end?
Well, the song started with a feeling, the emo feeling, and basically a lot of stuff happened, so I sat down and I had to write it out, and that's usually how the songs are written. And I brought it to the band and I was like, guys, we must cook. We must cook.
Do you have like a Cooking Mama cosplay that...
I wish. I'd probably be wearing the cat ears.
Right, and then whenever they get it wrong, it's like, Mama's angry.
No, actually, is this the song that we had a lot of trouble with? No, it was Runaway. Different song.
So it starts with lyrics.
It started with like the way that we write music sometimes is that one of us will have an idea, we'll pretty much have it written out, and then we'll go up to the band and be like, okay, can we make this into something? And everyone puts in their part and what they think would sound best, and we pretty much work on it until it's pretty much made. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I guess to elaborate more on that, like with the idea stuff forming, it could usually start with like either like me and Danny doing like a small jam, and then Marco will add like a bass line on top of that, and then Alex will be like, wait a minute, I think I'm writing something that might fit with that. Or one thing that we do a lot, and I don't know if we did this with Comatose, I think that one started out more as like a jam, but I know the other songs that you mentioned, Runaway, which will be on the album, that one did start as like, what Alex would do is she'd like come up with like a vocal melody at first, and we'll kind of like work backwards, yeah. Instead of like forming the beat first and then getting like the guitar rhythm with the bass line and then forming lyrics, it's kind of like the lyrics are already there, and then Danny will see if he can like accompany that with like a guitar line, and then I guess Marco and I will kind of go in there with like with a different like take on the rhythm, and kind of we'll keep like working it out, trial and error it, see like if we can fit a verse there, a pre-chorus there.
Throwing shit out a wall until it sticks.
And so it's like a very weird building process where we don't really like we don't really care about where it starts as long as it gets done. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Also because for me, let me see this. Because like at the time that I joined the band, they did like all three of them had like a set of songs that were like structurally complete and the ideas already kind of existed, but the bass lines did not, and neither did the bassist. So then like I came in and they had like about 4 or 5 songs that were just they existed. So I didn't see that process that they're talking about. But then they put them for me, and then I came up with my parts for those after some of those were created. Some of them, a majority of the ones that are coming out on the album that will eventually come out later. Like Comatose, that's one of them that I got later, and it already kind of existed. I don't know for how long, but yeah, for me, I kind of just put it on after the fact.
for clarity, just so I can like gas up Marco a little more. It was I want to believe it was 5 songs, and he wrote the bass lines for all of them in like a month.
Wow.
And then we played a show like right after.
He locked in.
And it was solid as hell. Oh my God.
Yeah, so this was almost a year ago. This was
Okay.
last July, and
Wow.
yeah, it's been a while. It was last July, and our previous bassist just didn't want to play anymore, which is like it's cool. And
Unreliable.
well, people have their own life decisions and all that, but yeah, so we had this gig booked in Orlando, and we did not have a bassist, so we were like, Marco, please. We auditioned a few people, but we jammed with Marco, and we were like, yeah, that's the one. So we were like, we have these 5 songs, they're brand new, and we want to play them at this show. Can you write something for them? And then we just like got right to it, and like a month later, we went up there and played the show. That was the first show we played with Marco, and it was pretty good. Yeah, it was a good one. We didn't get paid though.
Wow. Do we want to call somebody out on that, or are we just gonna leave it there?
I don't want. We'll let it slide, but we didn't
Okay.
get paid, and hopefully,
This is an open place to talk shit.
hopefully you know
What camera do you know?
who you are if you see this.
We're looking at all of y'all. We know.
August 2023.
Oof.
Yeah, but also sometimes like the writing process can get very intense, and we have to like step away, then come back in.
Right.
Things can get heated because we're just like, no, it's this, but it's also that, and then it's like it sounds good, but it doesn't, and then it just gets crazy. So sometimes we just need time to step away, come back, and then we cook
Right.
pretty much.
And now I know that there's 5 songs and an album coming. Are these 5 songs part of the album, or are they just something you've been playing live recently, or is there something completely hidden that's coming to the album?
The 5 songs.
Yeah, there's more than 5.
Well, it's.
Right.
Do I leak the amount? No.
Leak it. You're already here.
7.
7-ish. Is there an instrumental intro and outro?
I'm confused. I thought there was 8.
7 full songs.
There's an 8th track.
There's an 8th track. Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
Sorry.
Best thing, you actually make physical CDs for this. Promote an 8th track, a secret 8th track, and it's just him breathing.
There isn't
Thank
an
you.
8th song.
No, 7 songs. Those 5 songs you did mention that Marco wrote bass tracks for, like those that they will be on the album, plus 2 more. You put that math together, it's 7.
Right. I
think
really
at
needed
least-
that help.
I literally thought it was 8, so I have no idea what's going on. I did not know this math.
Out of the
Sorry,
loop.
guys. What can we expect from this album? Is our sound like what Comatose sounds like? I'm now inserting myself into you guys' band because it feels like a safe space for me.
Love that.
Is this our sound? Or are we going to experiment with different things? Do we get heavier? Do we get lighter? Do we get sadder? Do we get cooler?
All of those.
All of those.
I'm being honest with that. Like literally all of
It
those.
gets like there's a few funky things like comatose.
Comatose.
Yeah, Comatose is a funky one. There is another one kind of like it, but it gets heavy at the end. And there's like a few heavier songs. They're like more like heavy rock.
Okay.
And then there's like a really nice one.
All right.
Really versatile.
We not to leak anything, but we have a song that's called Feels Good, and then we have a song that's called Feels Bad.
Yeah, very
So,
contrasting.
I love
know?
that.
Yes.
There's like this one artist that was dropping an album, and the first song was like, it was in Spanish, but it translates, it's not normal. And then the last song was, it's normal. And I'm like, do they have something to do with each other?
Yo, the arc. Technically, that's what's going on in their album. There's an arc.
All the songs have to do with each other in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're telling a story.
Yeah. It's like low key a
There's
concept
themes.
album, but not really.
Okay.
It's just, you know, like similar to how we brought up with the writing process. A lot of like how we write, and I think this is why we're always so engaged with our music and so passionate about it. Is that like our writing and our playing is kind of reflective of like how we are at that time. You know, both how we feel like, you know, in terms of like our morale towards our music or morale towards our own playing. That kind of like definitely can be heard in our work. Like we do hope that's heard in Comatose, and we do hope it's heard in the other songs that will drop on the album, because like one thing we do on is like we try to be like as genuine as possible while still being like as, I guess, like professional as possible. You know, but that's a
professional.
strong word. That's like the key. That's like the operative word right there.
Right.
But yeah. So like one thing we really like do hope that people get out of this album, and I guess like I said, just from the single as well, is just like they get us, like they understand us, and as cheesy as that sounds, is like we kind of do like embody our music.
Right.
So it's like when we make a direction, it's not because we're going, oh, let's see if people will like this. It's literally because here's how we feel, here's what we like, you know, listen to how we feel, and then I guess, you know, take your opinion from there.
Right. And I don't know if it was a conscious or an unconscious thing, but you guys really do embody a sort of brand, even from when you walk in, the way you act, the way you interact with each other, the social media, like it all does come together. It's not like we're just throwing music out there and whatever. There's something that's working, whether you're doing it on purpose or not, right? You were gonna say something. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, like that's a good point. Like I feel like everything we do, like from the songs we write to like the way we like present ourselves on stage, and also like even just the memes we post and all that, it is very much like the amalgamation of like all our interests and influences and all that. And I think that'll.
Our psyches.
That is awesome.
Which we will get into now. Actually, I want to hear about everybody's scene and/or emo phase and their influences growing up. You start. You have the talking stick.
All right. Honestly, most people have like an emo phase or a metal phase and all that. I didn't really have any of those. I was always like, well, that's more recent, but I don't know. I've always been more into like classic rock and funk and R&B from like, I just like 70s music.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter what genre it is, but I really like 70s music. I think they had something going on in that decade that was really, really
Drugs.
good. Every from like reggae to funk to jazz to like rock, everyone was doing pretty good. So that's like my main influence, and I'm also big into like old school hip hop.
I think they
And
had
also,
cleaner
like,
drugs in the 70s. That's probably it.
Maybe. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Not
But yeah,
good for you.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I listen to so much stuff. It's hard to say, and I feel like everyone agrees with that. But yeah, those are like the main things.
All right.
Yo, the
I
phase,
feel like she's living
it
it.
wasn't a phase, guys. It wasn't a phase. Well, I've just been emo from the start. I was brought in, and I was just like, why? You know. But
When you
yeah.
cried outside the womb, it was pig squeals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that I didn't stop crying for like 8 hours, which is kind of crazy.
You're like,
I was
it
just
makes
in the
sense.
Incubator, like, kill me. Okay. Anyways, yes, I there wasn't a phase, but I very much just really enjoy all emo genres. I'm not really the craziest with like pop punk or anything like that, but I do like Midwest emo, anything emo post-hardcore. So that's usually the genre that I always like leaned into. More so once I got into high school and like early years of college, I really went into it due to like certain situations in my life. So, you know, I tend to definitely write everything with the way that I'm feeling, and then they try their best to portray the feelings. Yes.
Were there any bands in particular that you really leaned into, or?
Bands? Who is a band? Oh, Car Seat Headrest. I love Will Toledo. That man, less
Car seat
collab.
headrest?
Yes, car seat headrest is like a god for me. Elliott Smith. Yes.
All right. There were bands.
What? This is on the topic of an emo phase. I had one. Yeah, I guess I thought we were still talking about that. But yeah, like when I started drumming, a lot of what I liked was kind of like I don't know, for some reason I was always big on like the Tony Hawk games with like the skater
Those had good music.
emo punk stuff. So like when I first started drumming, a lot of my influences were like a lot of like, you know, Yellow Card, Green Day, like Autopilot Off, stuff like that. But then as I kind of like went into more like, you know, music, you know, community stuff through meeting Danny and through like hearing stuff that like my parents liked and my other friends liked, they got into a lot of Chili Peppers, Led Zeppelin, Rush. Chili Peppers is a big one.
I feel like we all really like
Yeah.
We went.
But definitely through like college, I grew like more of an appreciation for a lot of that old like 2000s, 90s stuff, like a lot of the grunge, like Audioslave, Soundgarden, yeah. A lot of grunge and other like emo punk stuff like that. But similar to how Daniel was saying, like getting to a lot of jazzy stuff, I kind of started dabbling in like the math rock crap, and you know it's fun. It's wild, really good for drumming.
We'll never do it again.
No, I'm still doing it. Like shit, I still listen to like what Chan, Covet, Tricot, really good bands. Animals as leaders, hella good. So those are like a lot of my drumming influences now, and I'm kind of like, because like Danny's more into like the classic rock stuff, and Alex likes all that, you know, emo, you know, shoegazy scene stuff. I'm always kind of like seeing how well I can add like a lot of like what I do, and like knowing what I like with them on top of like my own flavor stuff, and then kind of like blend that in. And I'm pretty sure Mark will say the exact same thing, and you know, it's always us putting in our unique flavors and then just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah, I kind of expanded that. I will answer that question in a second, but because I don't want to forget, like we all have a lot in common, like musically and with the stuff that we find cool and stuff like that. But we still like our inspirations do come from pretty different places, like at their roots. And while like we all, for example, like the emo sound in our music, that comes from Alex. Like I don't think that my parts sound, you know, I don't think that your parts sound emo. I don't think that your parts sound emo. But you bring that, and I don't think that my parts necessarily sound like similar to yours or similar to Eric's. That's why when people like try to ask our genres, it's pretty hard to say because it's kind of an amalgamation of all of them, and that has to come from where we came from. Like for me, because I play bass. Well, it's kind of hard to say like where strict influences came from, because I feel like I've always listened to not everything, just kind of whatever was cool, and I've kind of just always made it a point to be versatile in what I listen to and what I choose to play as well. But with that being said, I've had very many like extreme obsessions with bands in my time, and the biggest one for like while I was younger was the Chili Peppers, for sure. And a big part because of their own versatile sound, because they've been around for so much, and they've gone to so many different like types of genres and types of sounds, and that was just really interesting for me. But also around the same, I feel like there's also an era of this that is like an age group part of it, because I'm the youngest one in this band at 21 years old. So at the time of like when emo was like a thing at like 2010s to 2015s ish, early 2000s type of thing, you guys are just a little bit older than me. And I feel like that had a grasp more on you guys than it did for me. And also at the time that I was in like high school, I was already like I was going to like local Miami shows and seeing a lot of different types of bands here, bands like Bloom Dream, Mustard Service, the stuff like that. And I was going to those shows when I was in about like 9th grade, and while you guys were probably in like later high school, stuff like that. So that had a really big influence on me earlier on, and they're all so different. That's why it's hard for me like to like really nail it down, because it comes from so many different places. Yeah.
Right. I love how in the beginning you were like, I need to say this or else it's going to go, because I've seen so many thoughts just fly away from me.
Yes.
Now that you guys mentioned the Chili Peppers, I mentioned this to everybody that whenever they tell me they like either Weezer or the Chili Peppers, there's this one guy on YouTube that makes these hilarious videos on like why Red Hot Chili Peppers sucks or why Weezer sucks. And they're comedy gold. and you respect what he has to say, because it's not just like hating for no reason. He's very comedic about it. I will send you the link once this is done.
They are not flawless bands. They have
No.
a lot that is wrong with them.
Yes.
No, but what you were saying about the age difference too, that makes a lot of sense, because I feel like anybody who's like 21 and youngerish right now, they also lived through a phase where this kind of scene was a little bit more mainstream.
Yes.
Because I had to live through Katy Perry being, top hit. That's what people would listen to. The pop, the top 40. Not even as much as like the heavy rap scene that we see nowadays. So, and then for me to listen to bands like Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens and stuff, like I was the odd kid out. But now if a kid in high school is listening to that, they're like, oh, that's normal, right? I even went to like a Latin event the other day and a guy had a Pierce the Veil shirt on and I'm like, that's my favorite band. And he's like, yeah, they do cool music. And I'm like, dude, I've loved them since 2010. Like, hello.
This is my uncle.
Is he really? Call your uncle.
Uncle
Tío Vic, hello.
Thank you for Mexicans being real.
But yeah, no, and I love how everybody brings their own thing to the table when it comes to the songwriting process, to building this band. I don't like genres either. I think that in a musical, the musical state right now, genre fusion is a thing across the board, like even in Spanish. I heard a perreo tumbao the other day.
Yeah. That sounds crazy.
Right.
I'm sure you're
Perreo tumbao. I had to interview the guy that made it, and I was like, dude, where did this come from? But it sounds like when you're mixing like two foods that don't make sense, and then you eat it and you're like, oh, this is good. Yeah.
I believe that genres put artists into a certain block, and then it's really hard to get out of it once you're there, because your fans very much expect you to sound in some way. But in all honesty, I think all of us just want to make music that makes us happy and that makes people feel things. So we don't really care what genre y'all want to put us in, but we will be that genre if you want it to.
Yeah, like that's something I always say. Like I think deciding the genre isn't something the band should do, because like I think the band's job is just play the damn music, let the people say what you are, and be like,
Do something interesting.
okay, yeah. Yeah, let the people like give them like their interpretation of what you are, and then be like, okay, whatever, and just keep making music. Like if it fits that bubble, if it fits that demographic, and people like it, then like they're gonna like it, whatever. I think when an actual band comes up and says, yeah, we are a insert genre name here, that starts to put like Alex said, it not only puts the band in a bubble, but then then it also has the audience have an expectation, and then the actual artists themselves like, okay guys, because we labeled ourselves as this, any other idea that strays from like the cookie cutter formula of that, don't do it. Don't do it. Like so, like you get ops in the audience and in the band, and then it's like, man, what the hell? Like then that limits the creativity of it, I believe, and I think that shouldn't be the thing with music. There shouldn't be no limit on the creativity. You shouldn't like add a rule to say it fits this. Just do it. See if you can be in that crowd, and then to see where it goes from there.
Right, and that's a great point from a creative standpoint. Jesus Christ. I was going somewhere with this. But from a business perspective and audience perspective, like, yeah, do whatever you want. You're free to. But when you have one track that sounds one way and then the next track sounds completely different and you're not giving me either a similar sound or feeling, then how am I going to get attached? And that's something that's why I like to refer to bands like when they have an EP or an album coming out, is that this is your chapter to do something that kind of fits together in a certain way. And we see that with Pierce the Veil, that Selfish Machines had one sound, and you listen to it from front to back, and you're like, oh my god, I love this. And then Collide with the Sky is a little bit different, but still in the same wheelhouse. But now Jaws of Life is like all the way out here with different influences. Yeah. So everything's like a chapter, and I guess there's a fine line between letting yourself be as creative as possible, but then also keeping that marketability. Yeah.
That's a hard one for sure. It's always kind of hard to gauge if what we're doing is correct, if people will even like it. I mean, just people always have a lot of things to say, and we just love music. We just want to make music.
No, and I think you guys should keep doing what you're doing because it's amazing. And like I said, you have an actual fan here. Like there is a couple of artists in the scene where I will be like, I am truly, honestly, your fan of what you did and whatever point. I'm excited for that album. I want to know what the goal is for Tongue Tied aside from just shit posting and having a good time, please. What are our goals and dreams? Where do we want to be?
The goal is to get paid to do music. Please, anything. You know,
We need money.
August 2023.
Yo.
Yo.
Don't know who you are. Don't know.
We will never forget.
What is it, 9/11?
You said it, not me. I didn't say anything.
Don't cancel us, please.
What's the goal? And everybody can have their own individual goals and dreams. It's fine. Just
Well,
you want to get paid.
Yeah,
Danny, what do you
getting
want?
paid to make music is definitely a group goal. I don't know. My goal is just to make interesting music.
Okay.
I don't really care what genre it is. I feel like everything we make, even though some of it sounds like pretty different from other songs, like it all sounds like us. So I just want to make interesting music that sounds like us, whatever that is. That's the goal.
Do you want to go?
Oh no, you're gonna say something. You're gonna say something.
I mean, I was just going to go in line.
Oh, okay.
I don't want you to miss
Because the making music from it is a really big important thing, and us all being musicians, of course, we all want to make money playing music, but that can come from like a lot of different ways. Like we're not gonna be like a bar band, for example, and like play stuff for that crowd. So, which is like a thing that I've done before, and it's good for what it is, but it doesn't bring the same kind of like fulfillment that playing stuff that you really enjoy will do. So it's more that I would, at least me, and I'm sure that everybody feels the same with that, of creating and playing music that we genuinely feel is super cool, and it's for our enjoyment with that, and being able to make money off of that, because there's a lot of different ways that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess to reiterate off of that, it's kind of like, of course we do want to grow. Of course, we want to get big. Of course, we want to. Our main goal is to blow up. However, we want to act like we know everybody. Yeah. You know, that's the quote. Where it's like we do want to get bigger. We do want to grow. We do want to like play larger shows and like be more known in the industry. Of course, I don't think like we should ever like not strive for that. But we still want to keep that like genuine aspect to us, where we can still kind of like be us and like write for us and like just do what we do without having it like some middle ground say, okay, yeah, that's not going to work for sales, that's not going to work for inspiration. And so yeah, pretty much we want to be seen in the community but still have that like aspect of like placement in the community. Like we still want there to be that, you know, we just don't want to be big and be fake, you know, we want to be big and be big and be real. Yeah. Act like we know everybody.
You can act like you know everybody, and it really throws them off. Like if you walk into somewhere and just start saying hi to everybody, like you think they're gonna be like, "Who are you?" They're gonna be like, "Yeah, man, dude, how are you?" Like, you know.
I think it depends on which member comes up.
Right.
So there's different reactions. I did want to say that at least like a goal that I feel would be really nice for the band is, whenever I listen to music and I discover a new artist that I really enjoy, those songs are just like, it changes me chemically or something. Like it becomes something that I can't even, like I must be in it or I must do it or something. Like I need to be there. So I would like when people listen to our songs that they feel that same way, where they can just like lay down in their bed and be like, yo, like this is crazy. Yeah.
Marinate in the song. Marinate in the sound.
What kind of sauce is it?
Soy sauce.
Soy sauce?
Depends on the sound. It ranges from like white sauce to like marinara to like soy sauce.
Yeah.
Call us ranch because we dressing.
No, that was probably one of the best explanations that I've heard for when it comes to listening to certain types of music, that you're just like, I miss the feeling it gave me when I listened to it the first time around. It's like, I'm never going to get that back.
Disclaimer, I will never endorse any ranch dressing.
Yeah, blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
I'm not a fan of like thick dressings like that. Like ranch, blue cheese, Thousand Island. No, I'm a vinaigrette girl.
That's fair. That's
We'll run
classic.
it through the grater and we'll make sure it's very thin.
I appreciate that. Just add water to it. Watered down blue cheese. All right, guys, we're gonna play the ick list.
Oh, the ick list?
The ick list. Yeah, so I have a list of icks here. And obviously somebody finds these to be red flags, but to you they could be a red, beige, or green flag. Beige is like, I can see how that's somebody's problem, but it's not my problem. So, the first one, asks to split the bill.
We do that very often.
I'll say beige. It depends on the scenario. Like, cause
Talking sick.
give me the
Oh,
steak.
sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you, Danny. Anyways, no. I mean, I guess we'll give our opinion, but it feels pretty beige. I mean, nothing like a beige on the more side of green, because it's like we do that. I know I've done that with my partner. So I think it depends on the scenario. Like if, for example, let's say you're eating at somewhere that's like obviously pricey, and it's like, oh crap, $200 bill.
Right.
You know, then maybe splitting it 4 away, you know, is chilling. But if it's like,
We're at the restaurant.
oh, I mean, it depends on what we're talking about.
Think of it in a partner situation.
The partner, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Okay, yeah. Then I think it depends on scenario 100%.
Well, to me, it's a red flag to ask to split it, because like if I see the bill come and it's kind of pricey, then I'll go like, hey, do you want to split that? But I don't like being asked to like, hey, get your card out, let's split this, you know? Because I went in with the intention of my meal being paid for. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you're asking someone to go to dinner with you, you're the one who's picking the restaurant. Like, if you can't pay $200, first of all, don't be asking anyone to go out with you. Second of all, don't go to the $200 restaurant.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a red flag.
Which in inflation today, I mean, that's your local Chili's.
See, I brought that up. I was like, it was like within the van. I was like, what the hell?
No. Ick list, think of it in a partner kind of context.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if you're going on a date, if you initiate the date, you pay.
Okay.
That is the rule.
Yeah. And it's a red flag if you ask otherwise.
Yes.
Follows a bunch of, well, it says follows a bunch of girls that don't follow him back, but think of it in the opposite way also, if it, for whatever interests you. I'm not here to ask
That's
about
a
your
red
sexuality, but you know.
Hell no.
I think it's a red flag if you just follow people in general that you don't even know just for the sake of them potentially following you back. Like
Instagram models and stuff.
yeah, like I don't know. I just follow people that I know or people that I meet out on the street, and I'm like, you're cool, but that's it. Like
Meet him out on the street once and he knows you. That earns you a follow. No, I'm kidding.
You follow Jimi Hendrix Instagram?
Yeah, he doesn't.
If the following
I don't think he has an Instagram, guys.
if the following ain't mutual is for the interest in the content, that's you gotta look at it as.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, like if the follow ain't mutual, if they ain't following each other, he's looking in for the content. They're looking in for the content. So
Right.
if it ain't some like informational crap, think about that.
Right?
Think about
So
that.
it's a red flag?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all agree.
Hates astrology and consistently rants about it.
Do any of us know our signs?
I know mine.
Your signs are chaotic.
Sagittarius.
That's what it is.
I don't think we have ever asked each other that.
Stop sign.
I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody having their own reservations about astrology, but if somebody's trying to like initiate an astrology conversation, you're like, that's all fake. Like no, that's not, like there's a certain way that you can approach that type of thing that is like respectful to the person that you're talking to, or totally just not. And that's more where the red flag will come from. Somebody can think that it's like real or not real, and that's kind of like you can think whatever you want to think, but it's how respectful you are to the person and people who actually like that stuff, or not like that stuff, who know and believe.
Yeah, because it's their hobby. So if I sat here and I was like, oh my god, the bass isn't even a real instrument, you'd be like, dude. Right?
Exactly. Yes,
But
yes.
we would never do that.
Tongue-tied brawl out of.
Yo, imagine being offended by stars and constellations, bro.
Yo.
What the heck, dog?
It took a playing card to set you off. That's a red flag. Think about it like that.
Ouch.
Creed.
So it's a red flag. Doesn't like cats.
Red flag.
Red flag. We all have cats.
Actually,
No, it's beige. People have their reasons, you know.
Fine.
If you have a bad experience as a little kid, I have two, Eric.
Still allergic.
Yeah, and I have two cats anyways. Like that, I think that tells you where I'm at with that. I like cats, but you know.
Red flag, red flag.
Red flag.
You gotta
Red
like
flag.
cats.
Yeah.
You gotta like cats.
Yeah, there's something that doesn't rub me the right way about
If you
people that don't like
animals,
cats.
Who are you, bro?
Yeah, bro.
That like something.
Well, but like, see, I'm afraid of dogs, like big dogs.
Well,
They scare me.
Yeah, but it's understandable. They're big dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, but a little cat. Yeah, I wouldn't like
That's what I was
have a
thinking,
dog
like-
because it's a lot of maintenance. But that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just
That's
me.
like a baby, bro.
My cat's like a
That's
baby
true.
at this point. We are one step away from spoon feeding her at this point. Like she is. It was Minnie, the one that is tiebreaker for the.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's a baby. She's an overgrown child.
I'm like a prisoner in my room with my cat. She like makes me feed her, and then if I try to pet her, she tries to kill me.
Oh, I love
So-
that.
She's evil.
She's
bro.
evil.
She's evil.
Penelope, you got ops.
You got. All right, and last one. Looking for Rave Bay in Hinge prompts.
I don't even know if any of that applies to us.
Yeah.
We Rave Bay.
Rave Bay.
I literally don't understand.
I understand.
Wait, hold on. So
As someone who has never been on a dating app like me,
You mean like okay?
it means whatever you probably think it means because
so,
I have no
so
idea.
like the way I interpret that is that like you go on like dating apps to specifically go to like what like rave festivals and like hook up with someone.
No, I think it's someone who is on a dating app that is looking for a raver but refers to them as Rave Bay and has that explicitly written in their profile.
there are rave bays, like,
I'm sure that's a thing.
like
Yeah.
Say
okay,
beige.
yeah.
there
I
are
don't know.
beautiful women.
I'm so confused. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Sorry. No.
that doesn't seem wrong. I mean I got nothing against dating apps. That's how I found my partner, and it was pretty fun. 2 years strong. But what's it called? Like it just feels unhinged. It doesn't feel wrong. It just feels like whoever's doing this has a lot of free time.
It's the same thing as people getting on the apps just to find like drugs in
Oh,
the
wow.
area.
Yeah, like looking for a plug on Tinder. If you if you know, you know.
Oh, that's wild. I did not know.
Oh, well, now you know.
Now I know.
That's a good.
Maybe there's not anything wrong like inherently with that because like if you're on a dating app, you're trying to find somebody with similar interests. I assume if you're looking for a rave bay, it's because you're a raver and you want to. And maybe what you want out of your partner is to be able to go to these things with you. So maybe it's not like wrong. It might be a little cringe, maybe, to like say maybe. I'm not a raver. I don't think any of us go to raves like that.
It gave me cringe reading
Okay,
it,
okay.
so I think it's inherently cringy.
Yeah. So like beige on the side of green, probably.
I've seen very beautiful people at raves.
Yeah, like gotta touch some grass, dude. Go to the rave.
Yeah, I think that's just I think it's very forward. Like,
Yeah.
you're on a dating app, you don't know these people. Don't call them your bae. You don't know them. Like, that's something, that's like a little, that's like,
We can say beige. There's good intentions, but it's like,
It's odd. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys. This is your shameless plug moment. Let that camera know everything they need to know
stream
about tongue tied.
comatose.
This one.
Tongue tied official. Tongue tied official. That's the Instagram. That's the TikTok. That's the Facebook.
The focus. That's
That's
the
the
focus.
focus.
That is the focus.
The people talking do not have the talking stick. I know.
Tongue tied official. Tongue tied official. That's the social. Search that on your TikToks and Instas and Facebooks and X's. We're not on X though, so don't go on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Tongue tied official. Stream comatose.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for coming out. This was a super fun chat. I'm still inserting myself into this band. You guys are awesome. You guys stream Comatose. Look out for that new album. So you have to follow Tongue Tied Official to make sure you know when it comes out. And make sure to come out to any of their shows. Have fun. They're great people to hang out with.
Can we plug the next show?
When is it?
June 22nd.
I don't know if it'll be out by then. Yeah.
The album? Nah.
No,
probably
if the episode's going to be out by then.
Oh.
But we will see each other
whatever.
next week on the Senior Citizen Podcast. Make sure to follow Tongue Tied Official.
Thank you.